Hello, Suzanne Henwood here from Embraining for Success. You'll know it's Pink Shirt Day this Friday, and I'm sure you will have seen the signs. I know in our mall there are beautiful signs everywhere, and you can go and buy your t-shirt, your Upstander t-shirt. But I just wondered whether you'd ever really thought about what bullying was. What's all the fuss about? We have a dreadful reputation in New Zealand for bullying, both in schools and in the workplace. But I think there's still a huge misunderstanding about what bullying is. I think bullying is often seen as quite in your face, aggressive, maybe even physical. And that can be bullying when it's repeated and deliberate and intentional to cause harm. But there's an awful lot of other forms of bullying as well that happen, and they're far harder to identify and harder to work with in a way because they can be quite difficult to prove. Things like isolation and exclusion. Have you found yourself being left off of work emails so that it's almost impossible to do your job? Have you found yourself left out of meetings and walked past meeting rooms and seen project teams gathering together and you've not been included? Have you had repeated putting down, belittling in your workplace? We call it gaslighting. It's incredibly common and incredibly damaging. It can really start to get you to doubt yourself. Please don't. If someone is playing those games with you, don't let them get inside your head and your heart and allow them to impact on you. Keep records, keep notes so that you can look back and you know that your version of history is as accurate as it can be. None of us have beautiful, perfect forms of memory and recall, but you can keep records so that you have a good record of knowing what happened, what didn't, when, etc. Bullying is insidious and damaging. It's almost like it appears we don't know how to manage it and how to stop it. There's a new narrative arriving, partly out of the UK political scene, and then in a reel from MB today in a news broadcast, the word acceptable or unacceptable, as if there is a negotiation to be had. I think for me, it is always unacceptable in any form. It's very difficult to prove sometimes. And of course, there's always the risk that someone could claim bullying when there's not. But there's some pretty clear guidelines. If you look in WorkSafe, there's a beautiful table that you can do as a checklist. Are these behaviors happening? Sometimes I have had clients come to me who don't even realize that what they're experiencing is bullying. So go and get yourself educated, really. Go and read around, go and look up the WorkSafe literature, go and look up help and guidance from places like WorkSafe and CultureSafe, Hamilton, and other bodies who are set up to offer education and protection so that you come from a knowing stance and whether or not you are being bullied and whether or not you need to take action. So just be aware. Start to have a slightly open, more wider view of what bullying is. It's not as simple and it's not as individual as the aggressive bullying in a workplace where someone's in your face, shouting, swearing, or even hitting you. It can be way more insidious and passive aggressive than that. And that can be even more psychologically damaging. So just because it's not as visible and just because it might not have a visible wound, don't dismiss it out of hand. People are getting complex PTSD. People are getting long-term mental health issues. And some people, sadly, are even choosing to take their life because they can't see a way through it. So this year, one of the things I'd love to encourage you to do is to take bullying seriously and go and find out more about it. Find out more about it and have your eyes open and see where it's happening around you. And then be an upstander. Speak out, stand by the target, let them know it's been seen, and say, not on my watch. Not just this Friday, but from this point onwards. Be someone who makes a conscious choice to make a change. Bullying is never okay. Don't be part of it, and don't allow it. Stand up against it. Thank you.